Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lenisha. I am a holistic consultant. I provide readings, advice, and many more things. Alright, right now I'm going to be doing free yes and no's, and I may get into a collective. Tower. Something unexpected happened. It could have been something grand, or it could have been something uncomfortable, chaotic, destructive. But I feel like this has caused some type of fresh start. Hello. For those of you who are wanting to get on the list for free questions, just make sure you give me a follow, as well as double tap the screen. Yeah, you guys are closing out a cycle. Let me see. For those of you who are wanting to get on the, well, not on the list, for those of you who are wanting a free question, make sure you give me a follow and make sure you are double tapping the screen. For free questions, we are aiming for 15K likes. Only because I've already started on the collective. Alright. Messages for the collective. What are some messages for the collective? You could be in this energy of standing your ground or encouraged to. Whatever has shaken up in your life, I feel like it's creating some type of opportunity, good news for you to embark on something, to like physically start on something. You're being encouraged to keep standing your ground and trusting your intuition. Maybe some of you guys, you trusted in your intuition when it came to something, and it's created some type of tower moment for you. Yeah, a fresh start. Got the Five of Pentacles. A lot of you guys could have been experiencing the energy of lack. So maybe you got some type of inspiration to do something because of an energy that you were already in. A state of feeling left out in the cold, hurt, financially unstable. You received some type of clarity, some type of truth, which is possibly helping you stand your ground as well. The Ten of Cups is here. Maybe you thought there was going to be a new beginning within a situation, but it possibly was like the same old, unhappiness, etc. Some of you guys could have experienced whatever this lack was in the public eye. Okay. For others of you, you're coming out of this Five of Pentacles energy and you're coming into a Six of Wands energy, which is all about public recognition, success, achievements, being seen and recognized, and also praise. Maybe you had a few people who were happy about your downfall and celebrating your downfall. A lot of you guys, this could have been family. This could have been romantic situations where you possibly had children with these people, or it was a marriage or a committed situation that you were unhappy in, though. All right, tell me more about that Tower moment. The Tower moment is the overall energy. Tell me more about the Tower moment. That's what I'm saying. This Tower moment, the Death and the Fool, two other major arcanas. Welcome to the team. So this Tower moment has a lot to do with you embarking on a brand new journey. Something that's completely different. I feel like your inner world and outside world is completely transforming. There is a death and rebirth here. Keep standing your ground. I'm seeing that you are going to be getting this spark of inspiration if you haven't already. And you're going to be receiving good news if you haven't already. This is going to help you. This is going to help you a lot. Confirm the Five of Pentacles. There's some type of, if you want to change your circumstances within your finances, maybe some of you guys felt like something was out of your control at some point in time. Like it was in your control and at the same time out of your control in some type of way. But that's a mindset. Usually when you're in like a scarcity mindset or you will operate in scarcity tactics, right? So I know that you are the creator of your life. If your finances or anything that you're feeling some type of lack in, you have the power to change it. For a lot of you guys, you recognize this already and you chose to change it. And I'm seeing beautiful things unfold for you. Okay, you could have Scorpio, Gemini placements. You could be somebody who's intelligent or encouraged to trust in your intuition and the clarity that you receive. Confirm this Ten of Cups. Yeah, you were pretty much possibly feeling like you were in a box, trapped, but this was self-imposed energy. If you were unhappy with a family or love situation, it was because of your mental restriction. You possibly couldn't get outside of your head from a situation. So maybe some of you guys needed to release, or you chose to let go of something. Confirm more of this Ten of Cups in the reverse energy. For this disharmonious relationship or connection or unhappy family situation, there's some type of mental restriction going on. And I feel like you guys are encouraged to step into your Queen of Cups energy. Nurture yourself, heal yourself. Create a balance between you and the relationships that you have in your life. You don't want to be overindulging in connections outside of yourself when you've given only 1% or 10% to yourself. We are going to be doing free questions, you guys, when we get to 15K likes. So Make sure you are double tapping the screen, especially if you are taking messages out of the collective. The reason why we're starting when we get to 15K likes is because I had already started on the collective. Yeah, the 9 of Pentacles is out here. So I feel like a lot of, you're just in this energy of like whatever seeds you planted, whatever labor and hard work you were doing over the course of years, I feel like you're finally at this period of time where you can just sit back, relax, enjoy the fruits of your labor. If you haven't experienced this yet, it will come in the near future. For some of you guys, you have already done certain things to create this shift. For others of you guys, you're actively on this journey of transformation. And that's the thing, regardless of which side you're on, you're still on this journey regardless, right? But do know that you are the creator of your life. Some of you guys probably just been going with the wind in certain things. You may have been recognizing yourself shift and change. Butterflies could call out to you, or anything that symbolizes transformation, like snakes and, you know, stuff like that. We're actually in the year of the snake. Today is December 18th. It's currently 2:15 p.m. We're in the year of 2025. If you add those numbers up together, it creates the number 9. And usually in Chinese astrology, or the Chinese zodiacs, that is the year of the snake, okay? And usually the angel number 9 ties to completion. So a lot of things in this year has been wrapping up, being completed. Okay, so when you get into this new year, which some people feel like the new year it doesn't start on January. Some people feel like it starts in April or wherever have you, right? Just take the messages how it resonate for you. Some of you guys are really in your head, and I feel like that's just because you're unhappy with a family situation or a love situation. And by all means, past, present, and future energy could be significant. Some of you guys, you're no longer experiencing this in certain connections, but you still might be experiencing it in other connections, because the energy came out regardless. So if it doesn't resonate with you at all, maybe it's talking about something in the past, maybe it's predicting something of the future, or maybe this message is just not for you, it's for someone else. Okay, but I feel like a lot of you guys are in your Queen of Pentacles energy. What you touch grows. What you feed grows. What you nurture, you know? So either you're encouraged to be in this energy, or this is just naturally who you are. You're someone who's business savvy. You're someone who's family oriented. You turn a house into a home type of energy. I'm seeing abundance here. There's a lot of abundance. Success. Maybe some of you guys feel like you're lacking in some area of your life, like within your relationships and your finances. But I'm seeing a huge turnaround. But a lot of this change is going to come from you actually implementing the change. So some of you guys, you're going to get this spark of inspiration to physically start on something new. Maybe you receive some type of clarity of something. Be mindful of jealous energy, hater energy, especially because of how you look, who you are, what you do, okay? Some of you guys are extremely creative. Put the pen to the paper is very significant. Maybe finalizing something, maybe creating something, starting on something. For the ones who are wanting free questions, make sure you're double tapping the screen. We'll start the free questions at 15K likes, only because I had already started on the collective. But if you are wanting a free question, make sure you give me a follow. And if you haven't followed me already, please make sure you do, or you will never see my face again. Okay, if you're just not joining in, this is a collective. We'll be starting free yes or no's at 15K likes. Okay, only take what resonates for you And in order to get on the list for a free yes or no, you have to be following me and double tapping the screen. Thank you. This song says, awaken your medicine. So as I was saying, a lot of you guys experienced some type of tower moment, something that possibly was chaotic, destructive. You know, you experienced some type of upheaval that possibly didn't feel the best. But I feel like this was something that was necessary. I feel like you're also embarking on some brand new beginning, or you're encouraged to take the leap of faith to embark on this brand new beginning. You guys have experienced a death and rebirth. You have changed internally, and your outer world is changing externally. You are not who you used to be. Angel number 13 could be significant. 113, 131, 110. So I'm just seeing angel number 0 here, angel number 13, angel number 1, amongst other energies. Okay, 911 could be very significant. I feel like you guys your creativity is coming back. For others of you guys, maybe you're not feeling as creative, right? But regardless, do know that you are the creator of your life. You have all the tools and resources that you need. But if you don't believe this, if you don't feel this, then that's why your reality is gonna be what it is, because the world on the inside is just a reflection of the world on the outside. So if life is chaotic for you, if you feel like you're not financially secure, if a lot of things are getting to you, that's simply because there's some things that you need to tend to within. No matter the job, no matter the relationship, no matter whatever, if you are not stable or secure within yourself, life will probably not feel the best, and you'll possibly be going through the ups and the downs, right? So either some of you guys are learning that you are the creator of your life, slowly but surely. I feel like it's already, like you're already aware of this, but sometimes we tend to forget. Sometimes we be so zoomed into our 3D plane problems that we don't really, we forget, right? It's similar to like the answers being right in our face, but it's almost as if we miss it, like a blind sight or something. Your manifestations are a bit in limbo for some of you guys. Maybe it was delayed. So yeah, whatever this was that shook up in your life, I feel like everything happened in divine timing. And maybe this was something that swept you off your feet and you just have to go with the flow, but this is creating something very magical. Don't forget that you are an alchemist, so alchemize. There's a spark of inspiration coming in to where you feel this spark to start on something or create something. Stand your ground when it comes to this project, this work, this action. Because you're going to then turn your finances from upside down to right side up. Be mindful of greed or spending money recklessly, especially when it comes to sweets or the luxurious things in life. And by all means, you're meant to live a luxurious life. Absolutely. You're meant to enjoy the fruits of your labor and spend your money on whatever you want. But this is really all about being able to sit back, relax, and enjoy the fruits of your labor without necessarily getting back into financial debt, right? For some of you guys, financial debt is not even going to be a worry. That was in the past, and now you're in this energy to where you're just independently wealthy. You can spend your money on whatever you want, do whatever you want with your money, because this was something that you worked hard for and created. And this can even tie to like not actual 3D plane work, 9 to 5s, but actually who you were in the world and the work that you were doing. This has nothing to do with your degree or like a literal job, but who you were spiritually and how you operated in the 3D plane. So aside from hard work and labor within the 3D plane of 9 to 5s and everything else, that's included as well. Some of you guys, you did work your butt off in 9 to 5s and do this and do that, but I feel like it's also deeper than that as well. So I just feel like you went through the struggle, you went through the chaos, you went through the destruction, and now I feel like you're back embarking on this brand new beginning. You are not the same that you used to be, and your life is most definitely not the same either. And it doesn't have to be. I need you to understand that you have all the tools and resources that you need to create the reality that you want. You have the finances, you have the mental clarity and stability, intuition, you have the inspiration, you have the courage, you have the drive, and you have the emotional stability and open heart chakra, etc. So whatever it is that you're wanting to create, you can create it. Some of you guys, you receive some type of clarity, some type of truth, but for some reason, you're like in your head. For others of you guys, it's the other way around. You were in your head a lot, and now you're in this energy of breaking away from that because you received some type of clarity, some type of truth. So if you're on the opposite end, where you have had the clarity or actively having the clarity, you're being encouraged to get outside of your head, because the only reason why you're in your head is because of limitations, fears, anxiety, worry, and everything like that. And all you have to do is step outside of your head so that you can come into mental stability and clarity and gain. When it comes to your relationships, love life, emotions, you may not be feeling the best when it comes to your family dynamics or relationships. You may be a bit unhappy, or the people that surround you may be unhappy.
Where's your father?
Some of you guys are protecting your success. Like, say for instance, if you were an online influencer, social media influencer, you get on live, whatever the case may be, either you're standing your ground or encouraged to. Like, maybe you're being protective over the work you've created, over the audience that you've created. Others of you guys, you're encouraged to keep on protecting what you have created. You don't create something and then stop watering it. You don't plant the seed and then stop watering it, right? It's okay to take a break. It's okay to pause. But stagnancy, or just completely starting on something and not finishing it, or whatever the case may be, I don't feel like you're going to see the results in that way. Because a lot of you guys are destined to receive like great things. But a lot of things you have to, you got to plant the seed and you got to continue to water it and give it sunlight. It's like a continuous thing. It doesn't have to feel like a job, though. It doesn't have to feel like work. That's how you will know if you're doing something that's fulfilling, or if you need to take a step back and get your mental and emotional health back together. But I am seeing you guys, like, at one point in time have a lot of problems, and now you're gaining a lot of solutions, having a lot of questions, not enough answers, and gaining the answers. For others of you guys, this is going to come in, maybe with a shift of perspective, getting out of your head. And okay, for the free yes and no's, I may, I don't know, I'm thinking of ending the live and starting it back up. Because I like to start on free yes and no's right when I start the live, but instead I started on a collective. Okay, so earth sign energy is very significant. It can tie to groundedness, sensuality. The zodiac signs of earth can be Taurus, Capricorn, and or Virgo. Okay, Taurus energy is usually that sensual energy. Virgo is usually the pay attention to detail type of energy. The Capricorn energy is usually the very career driven or whatever the case may be, amongst many other things, right? So maybe you're an earth sign, or maybe people who you have commitment with, a home with, or a family with, or this is your family, they could be an earth sign, or it's just talking about the dynamics of what surrounds this family energy. So either it's encouraged to be more grounded, more balanced, okay, or someone is an earth sign. We got family, home, and commitment coming out in the reverse. Well, it's not necessarily coming out in the reverse. I'm just looking at it in the reverse. But as we see earlier, we already got the 10 of Cups in reverse. So that's why I was taking it as is. But something about like stuffiness. I don't know if some of you guys need to declutter an area, dust. Something could be like very stuffy. Confirm death. Yeah, we got ego, vanity, and pride coming out with karma, balance, and justice. Yeah, most definitely giving ego death. Confirm the Fool. We got self-care energy. So whatever this death was, that involves letting go, releasing, especially if you haven't already, this is most definitely tying to karma, which is basically cause and effect, consequences. It's tying to balance, and it's tying to justice, you know, fairness and things like that. It can even be something that's tying to a legal situation. If you've been going through a legal situation, you won't be going through it for long. Know your facts. Protect yourself. Create all the information necessary that you need for a situation. With the Fool here, you could be doing something different. You could be loving yourself more. You could be caring for yourself a lot better. Or encouraged to this time around. Confirm the Magician. We got reflection and projections. So like, I feel like your manifestations or your creativity or your trust that you have all the tools and resources that you need to embark on whatever journey this is, I feel like you gotta go within and do some type of work, because maybe you've been projected upon. Maybe this is a time of reflection. Maybe you can't see something as clearly because maybe your dreams were shattered, your image was, you know, you kind of lost yourself, or you've just changed. If you guys are wanting a free question, I am about to start on free questions within like the next 5 minutes. So make sure you are double tapping the screen and following me. Yep, Ace of Wands, we got action, courage, beginnings. Coming out with Jupiter, which ties to expansion and prosperity. You sent the gift. I didn't see it, but I did see you say, please answer. Be mindful to be patient. I will get to your question when I get to your question. I'm not really starting on questions right now. I'm still actively doing a collective. So confirm 6 of Wands. Some of you guys, you're going to be really famous. Okay? But I feel like you're gonna need some type of control tactics. Maybe this is already going on. I'm seeing public recognition and success. Some of you guys, you literally can become famous. You literally can have the whole social media shut down right under your fingers, right? Maybe it just takes you planting certain seeds and continuing to water them. This can be within your creations and within yourself. Like a lot of times, some people, they're not able to handle a lot of fame. They're not able to handle a lot of money, right? So some things are getting into order before the next thing goes about. So remember, it's not rejection, or remember, it's rejection is protection. Okay, and remember that everything happens in divine timing. So there's no need to rush and everything else. From the Seven of Wands, there could be some confusion and illusions going on. Maybe you don't know who you can trust. Maybe you're a bit defensive. Maybe anything that creates confusion or illusion, you're encouraged to stand your ground, to see beyond the veil. Confirm Ace of Swords. Some type of communication could be coming in, some type of new ideas. Yeah, I'm seeing you get back into a stable, harmonious flow state of travel, intellect, or the mind, communication. So stability is here. This is also confirmation that you can trust in your logic or your thoughts, or not necessarily thoughts, but mainly like ideas. Whatever it is, you have a refined intellect for a lot of you guys. Like your new ideas should not just be thrown away or stuffed in the closet. Like some of you guys, maybe you're encouraged, or you're already in this energy of perfecting your mind, coming into a space of stability, clearer communication. Some of you guys are encouraged to do shadow work. Confirm the Eight of Swords. We got nurture and compassion. Nurture your mind. Nurture your mind, body, and soul, so that you can stop being in your head rent-free. Okay, show yourself compassion. Be gentle with yourself. From the Ten of Cups in reverse, we got messages and dreams. You could be receiving some type of messages in your dreams when it comes to this love life of yours. Even if it's not just romantically based, it can be platonic as well, like your family, your friends. This Ten of Cups energy, I usually don't think of friendships. I usually think of marriage or family in that aspect, but just take it how it resonates for you. Confirm the Five of Pentacles. Something about a wound. I'm seeing somebody with a band-aid, specifically on their forehead. Some of you guys could be having issues going on with your head. Maybe there's headaches going on. Maybe you have a bruise or a cut. Okay, I'm seeing self-worth and expectations. Do know that money does not make you worthy. You can have $0 to your name and still be worthy. Okay? You don't have to be the best dressed. You don't have to have the corporate office and the presidential status. You are still worthy. So you have to be whole on your own without the external validation of people, money, whatever is very glittery and golden to society itself. Because, you know, a lot of people normalize fame, and they associate these things with success. Oh, how much money you got? Oh, that means you're this, or da-da-da. But I promise you can have $0 to your name. You can still be worthy. It's not about how much money you have. It's not about how many cars you have, or if you have a house or an apartment. It's not about any of those things. So don't base your worth on your finance, on your poverty status or financial status. Okay? Keep your expectations low, but make sure that self-worth is high. Sometimes you expect to come into something, right, that you feel like, okay, well, when I come into this, I'll be happier. When I do this, I'll be happy. But no, that's just not how that works either. Confirm the Nine of Pentacles. But if you're experiencing some type of financial poverty or feeling left out in the cold, if this hasn't turned around for you already, it is going to turn around for you. Some of you guys, you're going to have to be the one to step into your own power and create the independent wealth for yourself. I don't know if you're waiting for an opportunity, if you're waiting for somebody to come in and save you and they're rich and they just give you all their money. This is going to be something that you have to create, and I promise you it's going to be more rewarding than it is from somebody just handing you something. And a lot of you guys, don't get me wrong, money can fall out the sky and into your lap, okay? But for the stability that you're wanting, for the life that you're wanting to experience and live, just balance out spirituality and practicality. Practicality is the actual use of doing something. If you're not making money, then you may not see it, right? Sometimes, right? Because a lot of things can spiritually go on to where you didn't put in a lot of, and see, that's the thing also. You don't have to work to obtain wealth. That's the crazy thing. See, sometimes you just got to work smarter and not harder. So that's why I said, if y'all need to educate yourself a little bit more when it comes to finances, if you need to put yourself out there a lot more, because some of you guys, you're meant to be seen, you're meant to be in the spotlight, and you can actually dominate this type of field. Sometimes we feel like, you know, oh, the field is going to dominate us, but I promise you, you'll have this wrap around your finger like it's nothing. It's just about how you perceive things. And a lot of you guys, your perception and how you view things or how you feel on the inside has been tampered with because you've been projected on from other people's beliefs, other people's opinions. That's why you're embarking on this new journey of self-care energy. That's why you have been going through these death and rebirths, so that you can come into who you truly are meant to be. And I promise you, life is going to be great, but you have to create it. Okay, I know we believe in destiny and fate and that things are reserved for us and we'll naturally come into it. And that could be the case. But a lot of times it also takes you acting on something, creating something. There is some type of separation longing when it comes to independent wealth. Maybe some of you guys, you have to separate from certain things or people in your life so that you can come into this more independent energy, especially when it comes to your finances. Make sure you guys drink plenty of water. I really felt this whole shift, almost as if like a spirit moved through my body or something, like a ghost or something. I'm not sure how that feels, but just thinking about it, because it's almost like a, not a full dizziness, but even the vision shifting and the energy itself, it was just very weird. So I don't know if some of you guys, you watch like documentaries of like paranormal activity or something. That could be very significant. Seeing buildings that look very old and abandoned, but also haunted looking. Like, I don't know why that's significant. Necromancy could be a thing. Mediumship. A passed over ancestor could be significant. Staying hydrated as well. I recommend coconut water because it basically has vitamins. It's not just simple H2O, but whatever you can get in the meantime. And of course, the glass water is preferred, glass bottled water, rather than plastic or, you know, this and that. Even if you guys can learn how to, you know, get your own water, like going straight to the springs, the source itself, learning how to cleanse the water, purify the water. Because a lot of times people tell you, oh yeah, this is purified, oh yeah, this is spring water, and then when you get a water tester, it's actually not. It's actually bacteria infected. It looks clean, but it's not, you know. So instead of looking for everybody else to save you, I feel like you got pushed into an energy where you had to be this vessel for yourself. And you don't have to always think that you have to do things alone, because that's never the case. Spiritually, you have a whole army behind you. But how will you ever really know that if you're not even connected with yourself? Your crown chakra is in balance and everything else. So I feel like a lot of the things that you guys do go through in life, it is necessary, simply because if you don't know any better, how are you going to do any better? And usually bumping your head creates the wisdom. So appreciate where you are now. Appreciate what you've learned and, you know, endured. Although it possibly didn't feel the best, a lot of things were necessary for you to come into a certain version of yourself. We're going to be doing free yes and no's shortly. I'm just wrapping up the collective right now. Yeah, and as you start off on this brand new life, brand new world, brand new you, do what's best for you. Do what's healthy for you. Create a work-life balance. Create balance overall when it comes to your self-care, when it comes to your social life, when it comes to any and all things. But balance most definitely is being restored, and anybody who did not have integrity with you, treat you well, they will be getting karma, and like vice versa. If you were the one who weren't operating with integrity or, you know, having a pure heart or whatever the case may be, then, you know, vice versa. But if you were the one that was dishing out love, great things, then you're going to be receiving that back, or you're going to be getting dharma for that. Some of you guys have bragging rights. For others, you're too much in this ego energy. That's why you had to go through whatever death this was that happened. I'm not going to say so you could be humbled, but just so you can come into your true version of yourself. Confirm more, this Ace of Swords. Yeah, truth and expression. Some of you guys are learning how to speak your truth. Express yourselves. Or at least you're encouraged to. See, maybe all of these things is just connected. All of these things that happened since you first entered the world, all the way until it's about time for you to depart. I'm telling you, you're literally learning, mastering, learning, mastering, learning, mastering, shifting, authenticity, shifting to authenticity. Like, that's literally what's going on. So you could have started off in one area inexperienced, naive, lack, and then it's completely shifting into experienced, wise, secured. And that's what's going on mentally, emotionally, spiritually, financially even, etc. So love where you are now. Love what you have learned. Because if you didn't experience those things, who knows where you would be at right now in life. So I just feel like all of this was just necessary. Okay? But what you can't do is allow your fears to interfere. Because at one point in time, you didn't have fears. Right? Because nothing bad happened. You didn't really know that the things that exist to you today existed at one point in time. Right? But now, since you're aware of it, life can seem a bit scary. It can seem this, it can seem that. Now you're limiting yourself, alienating yourself, and a lot of other things. But this time around, make sure you're doing what's best for you. Because this is how you're actually going to come into the change that you want. If some of you guys need to create a vision board, if you need to deprogram to reprogram, which 9 times out of 10 we all do, right? You've been programmed since you got into the world, literally since you were like 4, possibly 1, from your own parent or guardians, you know. No offense to them. Once again, if you knew better, you do better, right? So a lot of you guys can be generational curse breakers. You got to stop holding on too tightly to a certain path or direction or person or people, mentality, or whatever the case may be. Because there's a direction that you want to go in. Just got to make sure you're not hoarding things. You're not keeping things that you're meant to just hold on lightly towards, not tightly towards. Okay, that's why a lot of you guys should practice the law of detachment as well. But yeah, your higher self is activating. You're activating your higher self. Others of you guys, you're gonna have to take that leap. Some of you guys, you're just gonna have to have, it's okay to have the faith of a mustard seed. That's all you need. You'll get where you want to be. All right, for those of you who want free questions, you can put your free questions down in the chat. Instead of me answering them with tarot, I'm gonna answer them with my yes or no cards. If you want to go more in depth about the question, if you're still confused on the question, you can always get on the list. My questions are $10, but if you can't afford my prices, you can send in what you are able to afford, which will be donation-based questions. And also do that for my readings as well, which is $50. But once again, if you guys cannot afford my questions or my readings, you can send whatever you are able to afford at the moment. So yeah, y'all are shedding y'all's skin. And do know that this is a timeless read. I will upload it to my YouTube. Timeless readings are basically readings that they're timeless. They're not just for today or for yesterday or for tomorrow. They are for any time, right? It can resonate next year, you know? So keep that in mind, and it will be uploaded to my YouTube. All right, make sure you guys, if you're asking for a free question, make sure you are double tapping the screen and make sure you are following me. Okay? For some of you guys, I may use tarot. I'm not sure. The question that I see in pen is the one that I'll be starting on. I will make sure I get to all of you guys. Don't worry. If you want to send in gifts, you can. It's not to get a question, you don't have to send in gifts. All you have to do is follow me and double tap the screen. But gifts are appreciated. Getting on the list is also appreciated. This is my personal business that I do. This is how I receive income. I don't just do tarot readings. I also do mentorships. I am a holistic consultant, so I do life coaching, advising, and the list does go on. I have a website that lists everything that I do. It's for view only. If you're wanting to book anything, you have to make sure you reach out to me personally. You can always reach me by DM or any way that you know how. All right, we're going to cleanse the energy of the collective, and we're going to be opening the list up for free yes and no's. Okay? Thank you guys for double tapping the screen. If you're just now coming in, we are starting on free questions. We just got done doing a collective. Don't worry, it will be uploaded to my YouTube. And be mindful, you guys, when it comes to questions, energy is it shifts. So 1 minute the energy could probably be coming out as a yes, and then you never know, with free will and, you know, things outside of our control, it could easily become a no next time around. So the main energy that will come out is the most, you know, accurate energy at this point in time. But if I ever feel called to go more in depth on your message, even if it's just for free, then I will. But usually my readings and questions are always 100% accurate. I don't have any bad reviews, so if you guys also want to check out my reviews, they are on my website. All right. Did I send a gift? I'm not sure. All right, let's see. Who is first? I see Zara. So let me pin Zara. All right, and after the question, you guys can just start putting your questions again. All right, Z, thank you for the follow. I return the collective's energy back to them, and I release my energy back to me. Right now, I want to focus on Zara's energy. She wants to know if she made a bad decision. That's not very specific enough. So if you want to privately text me your question to be more specific, you can. But if you want me to just answer it that way, I can. But usually, since it's not specific, we don't know what exactly you're referring to. It could be anything. Like, oh, did I make a bad decision? We probably picking up energy when you was in 7th grade, when you was 20 years old, you know, something that happened last week or today. You know, there's different type of energy. So if you want to be more specific, you can. If not, you can just let me know that you just want me to answer it that way. Until then, I'm going to answer Muhammad's question. Okay? If you guys want to get a free question, make sure you are double tapping the screen and following me. All right. I would like to focus on Muhammad's energy. This energy is not for me. I am not the querent. Muhammad is. So, they will want to know for Jafari. Will Jafari marry next year? Will Jafari marry next year? Will Jafari marry next year? Okay, so in the back of the deck, I seen yes, but when I shuffled, we're getting a no. Okay, so it says not ready to get started, plans aren't fully formed. So of course the practical way of marriage is of course having a partner and wanting to marry them. So as I told you before, just because we got a no today doesn't mean we'll get a no tomorrow. It doesn't mean we'll get a no you know, by the time of next year. It's just like right now in this moment, for you Jafari, getting married next year, it could be a possibility, but for right now I'm seeing that it's a no, simply because something is not yet ready. Thank you so much for the gifts. So either you're not ready, either the person that is idle for you to marry is not yet in your life. Maybe if you have a current partner, maybe just marriage is not in you guys' future or forecast. And maybe this also takes planning, okay? Maybe you haven't planned. Maybe you haven't, you know, accumulated or figured out the wealth that's necessary to have a wedding, or maybe even decided on if you wanted a wedding or going to the court, right? So it really, I can honestly tell you that this can be a yes, but at the moment it's just a no for basic things, basic reasons. Okay, your love life is not doomed. Okay, I'm sure you will be married, but you'll just, you know, it takes having a partner. It takes planning. It also takes being ready for marriage. So maybe come back again when you got these things in order, and then we can pull more energy on it. And then maybe you can be more specific and drop like a time frame, like, oh, will I be married in February? And we can really see what's going on. Or am I going to be married to Beth or Seth, you know, by 2026? All right, so I cleanse the energy of Muhammad and I return his energy back to him. Release my energy back to me. Okay. Gifts are what brings you guys to the front of the line. So we're going to be starting on Caramel. I'm not sure what your name is, love, but maybe I'll be able to go based off of your username. So let's go ahead and see. This message is going to be for Caramel. Not me, I'm not the querent. Caramel is. Her question is new love coming to her in 2026? So is new love coming to Caramel in 2026? Her name is Denisha. For Denisha, is new love coming in for Denisha? Is new love coming in for Denisha in the year of 2026? Is new love coming in? This energy is kind of coming out sideways. So we have a no here. And as I was telling you guys before, energy can shift, it can change. A lot of times it's just going based off of the current circumstances or the most potent energy there is. So of course, new love can always find us, right? It depends on if you allow it to come in, if you're ready for it to come in. So right now it says no, deception in the dark, truths hidden. Now maybe this is just you figuring out who you like, your type, getting to know yourself, getting to know other people. Maybe this can even be you not allowing yourself to come into new connections because you keep reconciling with past individuals. Like, it really depends. And maybe this can even due to some type of deception. Maybe this is self-deception, or maybe this is you deceiving other people, right? Which can go hand in hand with karma. So for right now, love, I am seeing a no. But you know, there's 12 months in 2026. So like I said, it's most definitely, we all can come across love, like, you know, right? But for some reason, I'm just picking up on a no energy for some reason. So maybe it just has a lot to do with, you know, if you guys always want to go more in depth about your situation, because that can also give me more clarity on why these answers are showing up how it's showing up, then you guys can always get on the list. But other than that, that's what I have for you, love. Thank you for the gift. All right. Welcome in, you guys. We're doing free yes or no's. If you're wanting to get on the list for a free yes and no, you're so welcome. Thank you. Make sure you are following me and double tapping the screen. If you want to send in gifts, you can. You will be at the top of the line if you send in gifts, or if you send in a donation. All right. Clearing away Carmel's energy. I want to focus on Tina's energy. Tina. Okay. I want to focus on Ty's energy. She wants to know if she will go to Canada very soon. Okay, Miss Tina, she is the current, not me. Only pull on her energy and her energy alone. Will Tina go to... Oh, wait. Will B go to Canada very soon? Okay. So you're inquiring about someone else? Or is this for you? For Tina? Yes, someone else. I don't really pull on other people's energy because we don't have their consent. So I'm going to personally see if this is a good idea to pull on their energy. It's a good idea for me to ask about B for Tina. Okay. All right, so for Tina, she wants to know if B will go to Canada soon, very soon. Will B go to Canada very soon? Okay, we have trust here. And then I'm seeing on the back we have improving health. So this isn't a very clear yes or no message. This deck right here usually gives me my yes or my no's. This is also a yes or no deck, but it's not only solely yes or no's. So B will go to Canada very soon if it involves trust. Okay, so be mindful that this is a person outside of yourself and this is their own personal life. So if they, with their own free will, trust and make the plans and everything else to set in motion for them to go to Canada very soon, then they will. But if it's the complete opposite, then it may be delayed or, you know, whatever the case may be. Returning kindness energy back to her. Returning peace energy back to them, respectfully. For Doreen, will Doreen get money to use on Christmas? Will Doreen get money to use on Christmas? Will Doreen get money to use on Christmas? Yes. Feels right. Good idea. Aligned with your values. You most definitely will get money to use on Christmas, Doreen. Happy holidays. All right. For Chocolate, will they travel abroad next year? Will Chocolate travel abroad next year? Okay, this energy is kind of coming out sideways, but it's mainly going towards no. And once again, we all have the opportunity to travel across, you know, to travel abroad, right? So this is not like a no indefinitely. This can turn into a yes. It's just about you taking a practical approach towards these things. Are you eligible to go outside of you know, the border of the USA? Because if you have child support that you need to pay, if you're a felon, like a lot of things can keep you from going. But if you have a good record aside from that, then maybe this is just personally on you. So about implementing some type of change for yourself, right? Having enough money to go. That's for the boat or the plane itself. That's to, you know, just the basics. But for right now, for some reason, I'm seeing no. It says barrier too strong, access denied for some reason. But just keep in mind, okay? And this can even just be up to you. Sometimes we change our minds. Sometimes we get lazy. Sometimes we get fearful. Sometimes we don't have the savings. Or we're just thinking too negatively. Or, you know, anything can keep this from going. All right? All right, you guys, I'm only doing one question per user. Maybe tomorrow you can ask another question, or later today. But right now I'm only doing one question each for you guys, and then I'll be getting off of live, possibly, or starting up another collective. I'm not sure. All right. Cause the energy within and around me. I'm not the current here. Honati is the current here. She wants to know, will her husband, Elaine, come back soon? Will Honati's husband, Elaine, come back soon? Will her husband come back soon? Yes. Yes, ma'am. Best of wishes on you and your relationships. Okay. Chocolate, I believe I had answered a question for you already. Does my ex-fiance still want the relationship? CJ wants to know if their ex-fiance still wants the relationship. I'm not sure who he's talking about, but you're welcome. But please pick up on whomever he is talking about. CJ wants to know, does his ex-fiance still want the relationship? Does CJ's ex-fiance still want the relationship? Okay. I'm getting a no here simply because we have storm too violent, shelter needed. So maybe there's just a lot of things going on in the connection, or there was a lot of things that was going on in the connection that possibly made her not feel safe, or whatever the case may be. So at the moment in time, I'm getting a no. Feel the energy within around me. Thank you for the gifts. Okay, which one of those questions do you want to do? Doing one question. If you guys want to skip the line, all you have to do is send in gifts. Make sure you are following me and double tapping the screen. If you're not following me or double tapping the screen, make sure you are doing so that I can do your free yes and no. But MN, which question do you want me to answer? Alright, so for MN, they want to know if JK has pure intentions when it comes to the relationship or her. So does JK have pure intentions towards MN? Does JK have pure intentions towards MN? Okay. I may have answered a few questions for people who weren't following me or double tapping the screen. I forgot to check. So for the person whose question I was just doing, you didn't follow me. So I'm gonna answer a question for the individuals who are following me. Please, will Sharifa get pregnant? So, for Yarrow and Rifa, username, they said, will Sharifa get pregnant? Will Sharifa get pregnant? Will Sharifa get pregnant? Will Sharifa get pregnant? So earlier the card that popped out was no. And in this deck we're getting a yes. So of course, in order for someone to get pregnant, right, they will have to be the one to, you know, because some people, they get abortions. Some people, they take Plan B. Some people, they got their tubes tied. They don't want to get pregnant. Some people, they can't get pregnant. So based off of science itself and actual practicality, like you both of you guys have to be fertile enough to have a child. And you also have to pay attention to see if this person even wants to have a child by you specifically. So if all of these are good, then I'm most definitely seeing a yes. But if all of these are not a yes answer, and it's like confusion, it's fear, or it's just something that scientifically cannot happen, then I'm most definitely seeing a no. It says beyond your ability, done to death, not viable. But of course, if you are someone who can get people pregnant, and if she's fertile enough and she wants to keep the baby and have one, then you guys most definitely will get pregnant. But make sure you be assertive and take action, you know? Okay, for MN, they want to know if JK loves them. Does JK love MN? Does JK love MN? Does JK love MN? Does JK love MN? So I'm getting a no. It says paths are closed now, locked out, do not enter. So maybe this answer is just coming up for your own protection. Or you know, this doesn't mean that they don't care about you or whatever the case may be. Love is just very strong. In order for somebody to be able to love someone, they have to literally be capable of giving and receiving love. If you're dealing with people who is pretty much emotionally unavailable, okay, they have certain things going on internally, because even I, you know, dated someone who they can only love me to the point that they were able to, right? They still had their own inner demons and everything else. It didn't mean that they didn't care. It's just maybe they're just not capable of experiencing like that level, you know, that capacity of love, right? In a healthy way. So it's just not, I don't know what your situation is for me to just give you a no. That's why I'm elaborating the way that I am, because I don't know, like maybe you cheated on a girl and then she just don't love you no more or something. So I don't really know your story. So that's why I'm telling you the way that I'm telling you. But for right now, I'm seeing a no for some reason. But if you guys ever want to go more in depth about your questions, just let me know. All right, you guys, in order to get a free yes or no, you have to make sure you are double tapping the screen and following me. If you send in a gift, you are prioritized to skip the line. Whew. Make sure you guys are asking appropriate questions that doesn't involve divination abuse. You know, trying to get information that's not meant for you to have or whatever the case may be. So Beloved wants to know if it's a good idea to make amends with Aaliyah. Is it a good idea for Beloved to make amends with Aaliyah? So when we ask should I questions, it's basically taking the power of free will away, right? You have the free will to reconcile. You have the free will to not reconcile. Don't go based off of divination to tell you if you should do something or not. But I'm seeing a yes. Now, just because I'm seeing a yes, don't mean if you reconcile, everything will be better. It won't be any challenges. Like, it's just saying yes, right? So you have to trust in your own intuition and the clarity and knowledge and intelligence that you have. Is it a good idea to reconcile? Is this a good friend? Is this a good lover? You know, is it the right time? Do you still have trauma from this person? You know, you got to ask yourself these things. Then you can let yourself know if it's a good idea. Because maybe personally it's not, right? I don't know. But the card itself, we got yes. It says rising to the challenge, floating on air, and advance. So I'm going to leave it at that with you. I'm going to leave it at that. Okay. All right, James. This is a very sensitive question. Do know that sometimes when we get yes or no, be mindful, okay? Be mindful. So with this particular question, I'm going to pull with this deck. Sometimes you can get a yes or a no. Like, let me show you, right? My name is Lenisha, so I'm going to ask, is my name Lenisha? And we're going to see what's going to happen, okay? There's an energy within and around me. I would like to focus on my energy. To determine if these answers are accurate to the questions that I ask, I'm going to ask what's my name is. My name is Lenisha, so I'm going to ask, is my name Lenisha? It's coming out a bit wonky. Got yes. Okay, now I'm going to ask, It's my birthday, May 18th. Okay? It is. So let's see. It's my birthday, May 18th. You gotta know. Okay? So I'm gonna ask this deck. It's my birthday, May 18th. We got romance. And a year from now. So if you still are comfortable with me asking this question, because sometimes the answers, when you get a yes or no, especially using oracle cards, like I don't even like using tarot when it comes to asking yes or no questions, because sometimes yes or no's is a little bit deeper than that, and sometimes we don't get all the time an accurate answer. So I just wanted to show you, sometimes the answers will come out very accurate, sometimes it'll probably come out a little confusing, right? It said yes to my name being Lenisha. It said no to me being born May 18th. Maybe I genuinely wasn't born May 18th and it's something I don't know. Or the cards is just, it got its own stuff going on, okay? So, do you still want me to ask that question? Okay. Is Glory cheating on James? Accurate messages only. Is Glory cheating on James? So I'm seeing abundance, perfect timing, no need to worry, and remain positive. And then I'm seeing let go. So maybe you just have some type of negative thoughts going on. I'm not really getting a solid yes or a no for the question that you asked, but the other cards that I am seeing just shows me that you should really get out of your head about it. You know, maybe you possibly feel like they're cheating. So the practical approach would be asking her specifically, are you cheating on me? Right? And it's up to her to tell the truth, or it's up to her to lie, but at least you went ahead and asked. Because sometimes people, you never know, they may just tell you the truth. In other cases, they may lie. But in any situation, you should always trust your intuition. Okay, but it never hurts to sit and ask your wife or your girlfriend, are they cheating? But what I was mainly seeing was you know, no need to worry. Not necessarily a yes or a no, but just not necessarily, you know, like just, it's no need to worry. You know, maybe try being a little bit more positive. Okay. You guys have to be following me and double tapping the screen if you want to get your question answered. You're welcome, James. I wish you the best on your journey. Okay. As we've seen before, a lot of times the answers that I give to you guys, especially with certain oracles, they may not be 100% accurate. I kind of don't like to say that, but as we just seen, when I asked for what my birthday was, it said that my birthday wasn't my birthday. So either that's true, I wasn't really born on May 18th, or the cards, they going through their own little stuff right now. So I do actually prefer you guys to go based off your own intuition instead of divination tools. Okay? Usually tools are here to guide, sometimes predict things, etc. So it's a bit tricky when it comes to yes or no questions. So just keep that in mind. So is John in love with T? 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 Not really getting a yes or a no. I'm seeing that you're being encouraged to ask your angels. Is John in love with T? And in this deck, I'm getting a yes. It says brilliant idea, clear path, bright future ahead. For Jasmine, they want to know if their girlfriend loves them. Does Jasmine's girlfriend love her? Does Jasmine's girlfriend love her? Yes, she does love you. It says this is the real deal. Your efforts bear fruit. Okay, so I'm getting a yes for that. You're welcome. Will the new year be successful for Rasta? For Ivana. Will the new year be successful for Ivana? So I'm getting a no for some reason. And don't forget, right? The world on the outside is a reflection of the world on the inside. You create your reality based on your beliefs, your thoughts, your actions. So if you personally feel that life is not successful, that's possibly why this energy is showing up. Because naturally, everybody is capable of success. And like, literally, the new year it's 12 months in a year. So for the whole year, no success? Like, come on now. So this will probably have a lot to do with how you feel about life. Like if you feel like you're not getting any results, if you feel like you're being rejected, if you feel like you're just run down, tired, depressed, then that may not feel like a successful year for you. So there may be some challenges that you come across in the next year, but be gentle with yourself and don't just write off your life as, oh, it's not successful, right? Because if we go based off like that in the year 2025, most of the planet will be saying this was not a successful year. But that doesn't mean that it wasn't. I mean, that doesn't mean that it, was not a successful year. So maybe this is more of a mindset thing, why this energy is coming out. For some reason, I got 2 no's. So it says your ideas are rejected, not satisfied with results, feeling run down, tired, rough time, too much. So maybe if you implement self-care, then it will feel successful to you. Okay? So just be mindful of how you're viewing things. You're new here, welcome. We're doing free yes and no's. Kia, I got you next. Does my father love me? For Biso. Biso wants to know if their father loves them. Does their father love them? Does Biso father's love? So I'm getting a yes. Your father loves you. Wish you the best on your journey. Okay. Miss Kia, you have to be following me in order to get on the list for a free question. For all of you guys who are asking a question, you have to make sure you are following me and double tapping the screen. James, did I answer your question already? Evening, evening. All right, you guys, welcome in. If I didn't answer your question, please type it down in the chat now. If I didn't answer it, was possibly because I didn't see it, or it was possibly because you're not following me. So if you're wanting to get a yes or no question answered, make sure you are double tapping the screen and giving me a follow. All right, cleansing energy within and around me. I would like to focus on Kia's energy and hers alone. She is the clearing of this message. She wants to know if Fistos really loves her. This is her boyfriend. Does Kia boyfriend Fisto love her? Yes, they do. Hello. Let's see. Hi, ma'am. All right. So for Jabu, they want to know if they will find a partner next year. Will Jabu find a partner next year? I'm getting a yes. It says stokes your passion, heart's desire, and blooming. So of course, you're going to get a partner because that's something that you want. So you're possibly going to be in alignment with it and actually put in action to get one. So I'm saying a yes. All right. For Mika, cleansing energy within and around me, I would like to focus on Mika energy and hers alone. She is the clearing of this message. Does Bob still love her? Mika wants to know if Bob still loves her. Does he? Does Bob still love Mika? I'm getting a no. I feel like you shouldn't really waste any more time on this person, possibly. You know, maybe some people are just incapable of loving you. Maybe he loves you to the amount that he's only able to. And a lot of times it's just not enough, you know? You don't have to look at it like in a heartbroken or heartbreaking way. And I don't know your situation to really be trying to give you advice on a situation like this, because I don't know how I'm supposed to give you the message if I don't really know your story with this person. But Mika, I'm seeing, you know, I already answered it. Okay, love. Sending you love. All right. You guys have to make sure you are following me and double tapping the screen in order to get a question answered. All right, cleansing energy within and around me. I would like to focus on Angel's energy and hers alone. She is the current of this message. She's going by Angel. She says, oh, what I said to Taj that I forgot that make him don't want to tell me. What I say to Taj that I forgot that make him don't want to tell me. Make sure you guys are asking questions that I can understand. Make sure there's no typos or anything. And make sure it's yes or no based. Okay, I'll give you time to fix that, love, and I'll move on to someone else. If you guys are wanting a free yes or no, you have to make sure you're double tapping the screen and following me. If you guys are wanting a free yes or no, you have to make sure you follow me and are double tapping the screen. Rasta, Ivana, I believe you asked, would your partner be coming back to you, right? Earlier? If you did, I answered your question and I told you yes, they will be. But if you didn't ask that question earlier, then I'm only doing one question per user, love. You're welcome. Am I going to play professional football? For the gods. Ezeh wants to know if they're going to play professional football. They be playing football professionally. Cleansing the energy within and around. I would like to focus on EZEH's energy and theirs alone. They are the clearing of this message. They want to know if they're going to be playing football professionally. Are they? Yes. Okay, it says reach for high goals. Success is near. So you may have some challenges in order to get there, right? This is a mountain. But I'm getting a yes. I'm not sure when, but this may actually take some effort on your half. Okay, it may be challenging, but at the end of the day, I'm seeing a yes. So congratulations. Okay. You're welcome. Okay, Grace. Make sure you are following me and double tapping the screen. Kisi, make sure you're following me and double tapping the screen. Anyone who's asking for a question, make sure you are following me and double tapping the screen. What I say to Taj that I forgot that make him won't tell me. Angel, that's not a complete sentence, love. Your sentence has to make sense. I don't understand the question. What did I say to Taj that I forgot that make him won't tell me? Yeah, love, I don't understand. I don't know if you mean what did I say to Taj, but even if you did, I'm still not connecting with the that I forgot that make him won't tell me. What did Angel say to Taj that she forgot that makes him not want to tell her? You got to be a little bit more specific and give me a accurate question. And I can't do a what question because it's not a yes or a no. So if your question is yes or no based to where I can give you a yes or a no, but I can just still give you a card pull from this deck if you want with that question. Okay, Grace, you don't have to keep spamming the chat. I got you. For those of you who are joining in, we're doing free questions. It doesn't necessarily have to be a yes or no, but what did I say to Taj that make him won't tell me? So whatever Crybaby is talking about, okay, what did she say to Taj that make him won't tell her? What did she say? It says, don't risk it all on this. It's a losing proposition. So maybe you said something that discouraged him, made him feel insecure, something of that sort. What is this card game called? Or whatever this is. It's not a card game, but I can't think of it. But maybe that can be significant. I don't know if you gamble or if they gamble. So maybe you told them something that made them feel insecure. Maybe you told them not to do something. Or maybe this is a personal message to you, encouraging you to not take a risk on some type of situation involving this person because it's a losing proposition. But specifically with the question that I was asking, which was very confusing to me as it was, maybe you told them something that discouraged them or made them feel insecure. Do you know what I'm talking about? There's no energy within and around me. All right, message for Gracie. A message from the universe. What's a message from the universe for Gracie? All right. If you're looking for a yes, Gracie, there's a yes here. It says spiraling up, rising tide, coming out of your shell. What's the message from the universe for Gracie? A message from the universe is that there's no need to worry, Gracie, because you're spiraling up. You're rising, okay? Things are working out. I'm seeing that you're also going to be coming out of your shell or encouraged to. All right, that's your message from the universe. All right, you guys, we are doing free questions. If you want to get on the list for a free question, make sure you are double tapping the screen and following me. If I see you double tapping and I see your name with the question, I'll tap on it to double check if you're following me, and I'll go ahead and pin your comment and answer it. It doesn't have to be a yes or no, but I'm only going to be using these 2 decks, so they're not tarot. So be mindful that the yes and no may not be as accurate, okay? And I don't mean because in a way that, like, if you get a yes, in reality it's actually a no. Sometimes that could possibly happen, but I'm also talking about sometimes the energy also shifts. So 1 minute it could be a no, and then maybe if you ask 2 weeks later, it could turn into a yes, right? But I'll make sure I elaborate with you as much as I can so that you won't be left confused. But if you guys do personally want to get an in-depth question, more information about what we talked about, you can always get on the list. I have $10 questions and $50 readings. I don't disappoint, okay? But if you can't afford my prices, donations are accepted, which is anything that you're able to afford. All right, let's get back into it. All right. So if you guys want to get a question, it doesn't have to be yes or no, then please put it below. Make sure you are double tapping the screen and following me. Okay. Pleasant energy within and around me. I would like to focus on Giselle's energy. She is the current of the message, not me. She wants to know if her and Annabelle will get back together. Will Giselle and Annabelle get back together? Okay, so I'm getting this mixed energy, like yes, no type of energy. And on the back, I'm seeing like no. So I feel like it takes 2 to be together. So Annabelle will have to be in alignment with you. You will have to be in alignment with Annabelle. If one or both of you guys are not really wanting to pursue each other, get back into a connection, that could keep the connection from blossoming. If there's still unhealed wounds, any type of blockages, then that can keep the situation from coming into, you know. But if both of you guys are wanting to get back together, then you most definitely will. For some reason, I'm not really getting a solid yes or a no. So I feel like it's really up to you and Annabelle, okay? But it can be either way. It all depends on you guys. If you guys do send in gifts that will prioritize you to be at the top of the line, you'll be able to skip everyone. Will Brahim come back to Adeola? Will IBRAHIM come back to ADEOLA? I would like to focus on her energy. I'm not the clearance, she is. So she wants to know if Ibrahim will come back to her. For Adeola, will Ibrahim come back to her? Will Ibrahim come back to her? So right now I'm seeing a no. Be mindful that this doesn't have to be permanent, right? It can turn into a yes tomorrow, next week, right? It all depends on him, because you're asking if he will come back to you. You can always, if you want him in your energy, you can always go towards him, right? You don't have to wait for him to come towards you, because if you're waiting for him to come towards you, then that means we have to wait on him. And waiting on him, he probably not put in the effort to come towards you. He's probably very slow to come towards you for some reason. I don't know why. So for right now, I'm seeing a no. Okay. All right, cleansing the energy within and around me. I would like to focus on Whitty's energy. She wants to know if Gerald will marry her. Whitty is the current of this message. This message is not for me, it's for her. So she wants to know if Gerald will marry her. Will Gerald marry Whitty? Okay, I'm seeing a no here. And this could actually be your spiritual team interfering with the connection, because sometimes everybody doesn't need to be in your energy, let alone try to marry you or have kids with you, right? So this could really be a protection thing. It says currents too strong, find solid ground. So maybe someone, you or him or both of you guys, it's not like a stable situation. Maybe someone, there's unrequited love. Maybe someone is not trusting of the other person. Maybe somebody is non-committal, right? You never know. You'll probably have to get more of a reading or something. And on the back, it says rethink your direction. This isn't your path. Okay, I'm not saying that this card is for you, but it is on the back of the deck, and sometimes the energy can also correspond. So you're going to really need to trust in your intuition with this one. But for right now, I'm seeing no. Maybe he doesn't believe in marriage. Maybe he doesn't really want to get married, right? You have to let people do what they want to do. Don't force somebody to marry you, okay? A lot of times you'll do better off without being married to certain people anyway, right? But for right now, I'm seeing no, okay? Energies change, but maybe it's a good idea y'all not married or getting married. Okay. Cleansing the energy within and around me. I would like to focus on KESI's energy. She's the current, not me. She wants to know if she will be rich in the future. We don't know what the future is, love. Okay, it's not as specific, but I'm still answering it. Will Cassie be rich in the future? So right now, I'm seeing a no. On the back of the deck, it says yes. On the back of the deck, it says neatly tied up, secured, trustworthy connection, okay? Now, with the card that actually came out, it's saying turning back, walk away, unreceptive to new ideas. So maybe if you do want to be rich, especially in the future, whether that's the near future or 10 years from now, 20 years from now, really it all depends on us. We have the free will. Sometimes we wait around for money to fall in our lap, for a rich man to marry us, you know? But sometimes you have to implement these type of like changes if you want to be rich in the future. So what are you doing in order to get there? Are you lacking? Are you slacking? Are you not putting your ideas to use? If you're not, then this is delaying you being rich. So if you want to be rich, you have to take that approach to create wealth, okay? You can't just be sitting like a bump on the log, okay? Sometimes it's going to take some hard work, consistency, and dedication. You don't have to, it's all about working smarter and not harder, right? We talked about this earlier. So that could be you creating your own business, you being consistent in something that you actually love to do and that you're actually great in doing. Sometimes it takes you also trying new things. Okay, maybe getting more knowledge on financial literacy, financial savings, you know, so you can be more smarter with your money, learn how to invest it, you know, different stuff. Anybody can be rich and wealthy. You just got to know how, you know. And if you don't see yourself being rich or wealthy, then you probably won't, right? Sometimes we have to be able to see ourselves being able to come into this. Will I pass my Form 4? Okay, make sure you guys are following me and double tapping the screen if you want to get a question answered. Okay. For the ones who were typing in their questions earlier, please put them back in the chat, especially if you follow me. All right, for Nye, cleansing energy within and around me, I would like to focus on Nye's energy. They want to know if Lizzie is cheating on Amos. Is Lizzie cheating on Amos? Now, be mindful that a lot of things can be a form of divination abuse. If you're asking questions and you're not the person and you don't have like consent or any other things, you may not get an accurate answer, or the question may not be answered. So make sure you guys are not abusing divination and you're asking questions that are of integrity. Okay? So for Nye, is Lizzie cheating on Amos? Is Lizzie cheating on Amos? Is Lizzie cheating on Amos? Lizzie cheating on Amos? So I'm not really getting a yes or a no. I'm seeing peaceful resolution coming out sideways. And then communicate clearly on the back. So whoever this is, if this is you, you're being encouraged to communicate clearly or pay attention to a person's communication. Like a lot of times people, they will be honest with you or they will slip up and accidentally reveal something to you, right? So I'm not really getting a solid yes or no, but you're going to need to communicate clearly, or whoever this is, they're going to need to communicate clearly or pay attention to somebody's communication. If they're being secretive with their phone, if they're coming off a bit more irritated and agitated, nine times out of 10 that doesn't have to mean somebody is cheating, but sometimes it can indicate that there's some type of infidelity going on. But as I said before, I'm not really getting a solid yes or a no. And then last but not least, it's up to you. On the back of the deck we got no. Make sure you guys are following me and double tapping the screen. All right. Make sure you guys are following me and double tapping the screen if you want to get your question answered. All right, cleansing the energy within and around me. This message is for Sam. They want to know if they're going to prosper next year. Cleansing the energy within and around me. I like to focus on Sam's energy and their energy alone. They are the clearing of this message. They want to know if they're going to prosper next year. Is Sam going to prosper next year? Are they going to prosper next year? So on the back, I'm getting a yes. And with the energy that came out, this energy is kind of coming out a bit sideways. It kind of seems like it turns out in the no. It says feeling run down, tired, rough time, and too much. And I'm going to tell you the same thing that I told a young lady who asked a similar question. It's a mind thing. If you feel like you're not where you want to be in life, if you feel like, you know, you're tired, you're having a rough time, a lot of things are too much, then you personally are not going to feel like you're prospering, that your life is successful, right? Which a lot of times we could be our worst critics. And a lot of times the way that we perceive things doesn't mean that that's the way that it is. You know, if I'm thinking in a pessimistic way about my life because it's not how I want it to be, because of my own mentality, then to me personally, I'm going to manifest what I believe into my reality, and I'm just going to feel like it's not successful, I'm not prospering, right? So as I believe any and everyone is always able to reach their highest potential, anyone and everyone is always able to prosper, be successful. It's just about what does that mean to you. So if you feel like being successful means having a lot of money, having a home, having this, then if you don't have those things, you're probably going to look at life as not successful, right? So prospering, it really all depends on how you look at things and how you feel. Okay, on the back of the deck, it says, this is the real deal. Your efforts bear fruit. So if you want to prosper in life, maybe you have a certain goal, you know, self-development, etc. Then you may have to put in effort to reach those goals. You can't just sit and do nothing. You can't just wish upon a star and want things to come in. Yes, wishing on a star can bring in something, right? But possibly not every single thing. So maybe just take a practical approach, balance it out with spirituality. Okay, and maybe for sure this no can turn into a yes, but like I told you, this no could really just be your own thinking, you know? Do you know what I mean? What's an energy within and around me? Thank you for the gifts. Mind you guys, if you do send in a gift, it will push you up to the front of the line. So if I don't start on the other individuals, then I'll get to you. So my apologies for whoever I pinned. Individuals who do gift, they do skip the line, okay? But don't worry, you can still put your question down and I'll be sure to get to it. And don't forget, you guys have to be following me or double tapping the screen if you want to get your question answered, okay? I won't be on here for long. My phone is on 23%, so make sure you guys are following, double tapping so I can get to you, okay? And if you want to send in gifts or donations, this is going to help you skip the line. Now for Godfrey, cleansing the energy within and around me, I need to focus on their energy and their energy alone. They are the current of this message, not me. They want to know if everything will be okay at tomorrow's concert. Will everything be okay at tomorrow's concert? For Godfrey, Godfrey wants to know. Yes, everything will be okay. You're also going to be coming out of your shell there. So maybe this concert can actually help you with some type of personal self-development. All right. I wish you well. Hope you enjoy it. Make sure you guys are double tapping and following me if you want your questions answered. It doesn't have to just be a yes or a no. If I already answered a question for you as well, I'm only doing one question per live, okay? For PHISHI, did I answer you a question already? Your name seems familiar. All right, your fave Kappa. I would like to focus on their energy and their energy alone. They are now the current of this message. I release any and everyone else's energy, including mine. I would like to focus on Kappa's energy and theirs alone. They want to know if they will pass their Form 4. Will they pass their Form 4 for Kappa? Will they pass their Form 4? Okay, so we got yes on the back of the deck, which may or may not resonate with you. We have two cards that are coming out completely sideways, okay? Meaning there's not no simple yes or no answer. On the back of this yes card, it says, trust your feelings, fulfill your heart's desire. So if you don't pass this, just try again, study harder, right? Have a little faith. And a lot of times, if we don't pass something, it's simply because it wasn't in our heart's desire. Sometimes we're just doing stuff for money, or we're just doing something because it looks good, right? So there's many reasons why this stuff can be coming out like this, but I don't know what a Form 4 is. Okay, I don't know if it's an exam. I don't know if it's, I don't really know what that is, but if you focus, if you become more of an expert at whatever this is, if you trust, and if this is a part of your heart's desire, then I am saying yes. But if there are some things that are going to create an obstacle, if you have not studied, if this is something that involves studying or whatever the case may be, then you may not see the results that you want. Okay? So far as passing your Form 4, whether it's an exam or whatever it may be, I feel like it's going to really be up to you. Now, if you could elaborate more on what that is, then I could probably be a little bit more vocal about what I want to say. But because I don't know if it's like an exam, because I seen your name, it said Kappa. And I don't know if the Kappa is, you know, the dance team stuff or whatever. So I don't know if you're trying to get on a team, if this is an exam, or whatever the case may be. But regardless, the answer still stands as what I said. So I do hope that helps. I wasn't really getting a solid yes or a no. So I can ask again. It's a stage in education. Your fave Kappa wants to know if they're going to pass their Form 4. Stage in education. Are they going to pass? On the back it says remain positive. And then we also have ask for help from others. And it's coming out sideways. So this is going to take some work on your end. And maybe even a little, like, maybe speaking, like whoever the judges are or whatever the case may be, maybe connecting with them a little more. A little, like, maybe speaking, like whoever the judges are or whatever the case may be, maybe connecting with them a little more. Or maybe asking them for like some tips or anything. You said it's a stage something. I'll have to do my own research on what that fully means. But I do hope this helps. If you want me to pull any more cards or go a little bit more in depth on it, if you're like confused, you'll possibly have to get a reading or a question, paid question on it, so I can pull more cards and possibly ask tarot. So ask for help from others, remain positive in anything that you can do on your end, like perfecting your skills, your craft, you know, whatever the case may be, then make sure you do it. Because if not, you may not get the results or answers that you want. NH, I believe I answered you a question already. Good afternoon, Flo. All right, if you guys are wanting to get on the list for a free question, it doesn't have to be yes and no. You have to make sure you're double tapping the screen and following me. I'm about to get ready to shut down the free questions and end the live, you guys. If you missed the collective, don't worry. It will be uploaded to my YouTube, this very video, okay? So if you guys are wanting to get on the list before I get off of live, make sure you are double tapping the screen and giving me a follow. If I didn't answer your question already, I didn't see it, okay? Or maybe it was because you just did not follow me or double tap the screen, okay? So going once, going twice. For those of you who wants to get on the list for a free question, please put your question down. And please make sure you are following me and double tapping the screen, okay? If you guys are wanting to get on the list for a free yes or no, make sure you are double tapping the screen and following me, okay? If you already typed your question, please type it again so I can see it. There were so many questions sent in, so I can't even find. Welcome in, welcome in. Thank you guys for the follows and the likes. If you want a question to be answered, then please make sure you are double tapping the screen and following me. Some of you guys are still asking questions. You may be double tapping the screen, but you are not following me. So once again, and I'm not going to keep on repeating it because that's also draining my energy. All right, if you guys are wanting to get on the list for a free question, make sure you are double tapping the screen and following me. Okay? All right, for others of you, thank you for following instructions. You can feel free to type your question in the chat and I'll make sure I get to you. All right, cleansing the energy within and around me. I would like to focus on Jill's energy and hers alone. She is the queen of this message, not me or anyone else. She wants to know if she will marry her partner. Will Jill marry her partner? Will Jill marry her partner? Okay, so the no energy wanted to come out, and now I'm getting a card that's coming out sideways. So it's not really giving me a yes. It's not really giving me a no. Okay? So as I tell you, like I've told everyone else, a lot of times we can... Huh? No. No. So when it comes to these type of things, right? It's not something that's... I know I said no. I'm not sure. I'll probably not get that. I don't know. I'll let you know. Anyways, my apologies, you guys. So Miss Jill, sorry about that. As I tell certain individuals, especially when we get like energies like this, and it's not very specific, it doesn't necessarily mean like what you're asking for is not something that's like far-fetched, right? It's something that can actually happen, but it also depends on your energy and the other person's energy. So if this person wants to get married, especially to you, and if you want to get married, especially to them, which I'm sure you possibly do, then you guys for sure will get married. Now, for the energy to still come out like this, maybe there will be an obstacle, maybe there will be a delay, right? So I hope you take that how it resonates for you. I'm not really getting a specific yes or no, but just so that you can leave with something. It could happen, right? But it all really depends on you and them, right? It takes two. We all have free will. We can't force somebody to marry us. We can't do hocus pocus and everything else. I mean, some people, they do, right? But that's pretty much what I'm seeing for you with this situation. I don't really know your story in order to say anything else besides that. That's the most general way I can put this. But I'm not really getting a solid yes or no with that. Okay? Sending Jill's energy back. You're so welcome. Alright, I would like to focus on Sam's energy and their energy alone. He wants to know if he will make money before the year is up. Will Sam make more money before the year ends? Will Sam make more money before the year ends? He is the query, not me. Alright. So I'm getting a no. But as you know, we're in December, right? It's December the 18th. There's many ways that people can get money. People can go live and do stuff and get money. They can get gifts, right? Or people can pay for stuff. They can do stuff in person, like sell things online or in person, right? There's many ways. So if you take a practical approach to bring in some income, then you will get some money before the year ends. But if you don't do those things, then you may not be getting any income coming in, okay? So for right now, I'm seeing stormy relationships, trouble strikes, and uproar. So I don't know if money is usually connected with relationships or whatever for you specifically. But for right now, I'm seeing no. That doesn't mean it's a permanent thing. That doesn't mean that you're just doomed and you won't make money. This energy can literally change to yes like 5 minutes later or tomorrow or next week, right? But as I told you, and anyone else who gets answers like this for specific questions that they ask, because once again, your question is not something that's far-fetched. It's not something that can't be accumulated, created, right? It's just all about you. So you and possibly the people that you're also connected with, okay? So make sure you just take a practical approach if you want to receive income, especially if you don't have a regular 9 to 5. I hope that helps. Turning Sam's energy back to him. Alright, I would like to focus on Haley's energy and hers alone with Mitch. She is the current, not me. So I'm going to pull on her energy and her energy alone. She wants to know if Mitch and herself will get together. Will Haley and Mitch get together? Will Haley and Mitch get together? Now, we don't really know what you mean by get together, right? That could just mean getting into each other's energy, getting into a relationship. There's many things that could mean in particular. But the answer that I'm seeing is yes. It kind of was coming out a bit tilted as if both energies was a thing, but the main potent energy is coming out is a yes. Okay, that's pretty much what I'm seeing for you. Thank you for the follow. Okay. Paulina wants to know if her relationship will work with Freddie. So I cleanse the energy of everyone else's, and I want to focus in on Paulina's energy. She is the current of this message. You're welcome. All right, and she wants to know if her relationship will work with Freddie. Will Paulina's relationship work with Freddie? Will it work? So I'm seeing a yes here. It's kind of tilted in such a way, but it's still mainly coming out as yes. So this doesn't mean that there won't be any challenges, that there won't be any obstacles, right? And I'm not saying that there will be. I'm just telling you, just because it's a yes don't mean, you know. But for right now, I am seeing that yes, your relationship will work with Freddie. Okay, do know that it takes two. Okay, it takes two. So as long as you're doing the work on your end and they're doing the work on their end, of course, successful relationship. You know, y'all can make it till you old and gray. All right, returning everyone's energy back to them. I release Paulina's energy back to her. I wish you the best in your life, love. Okay. If you guys want to get on the list for a free question, make sure you are double tapping the screen and following me. Hello, welcome in. King Justice. I believe I answered a question for you. No? Did I not? You guys, if I already did a question for you, I'm only doing one question per user at the moment. No, I didn't. Lou, the therapist. What's your question, Lou? Okay, Anna, you said, will your relationship with SKHU? I think you forgot to type the rest of your question, love. Make sure you fix that. Okay. Gotcha. Will your relationship work? Okay. I want to focus on Anna's energy and hers alone. She is the current of this message, not me or anyone else. She wants to know if her relationship will work with SKHU. Will it? Will Anna's relationship work with SKU? Will Anna's relationship work? All right. So this energy kind of wants to come out sideways, but it's mainly pointing towards a no. It says, rethink your direction. This isn't your path. So I feel like your relationship with SKHU was meant to be, but it wasn't meant to stay, at least not right now. Maybe there's something better for you. Maybe connecting with this person, it will put you in a whole nother direction of life that you're possibly not really meant to go on. But of course, we do have free will. So life goes in every which way that we choose for it to be. We choose who we love, but maybe there's somebody better for you. Okay. But at the moment, I'm saying no. I don't really personally know your story with this person for me to really tell you exactly what I want to tell you in confidence. So I was trying to keep it as general as I could when it came to that. But I hope that helps, love. Lou the therapist. I see you typing please, but I don't know what you want, okay? You have to type a question or just ask for a card pull, love. And if you guys are asking questions, you have to make sure you are following me. Welcome in, welcome in. My name is Lenisha. I go by being a holistic consultant. I don't just do readings. I'm also an advisor, okay? A multifaceted advisor. I can give advice in many areas of life. I also do life coaching and many other things. If you would like to check out my content, I have a website. You can also schedule a free consultation with me. Right now, we are doing free questions. It doesn't have to just be a yes or no, but in order to receive one, you can send in a gift to skip the line. And you have to make sure you are following me and double tapping the screen. All right. And don't worry, if I didn't get to your question, I'll get on tomorrow or later today and I'll do more free yes or no's. My phone is now on 16%. So once again, we won't be doing this for long. All right. So if you want to get on the list, make sure you are following me and double tapping the screen. All right, this message is for King. He is the current of this message, not me or anyone else. I would like to focus on his energy and his energy alone. He wants to know if his relationship will go to the next level. We're not sure what that means, King. That can mean any and everything, but you're welcome, okay? I'll still answer it to the best of my ability, so let's see. Will King's relationship go to the next level? You didn't specify which relationship, if this was a platonic connection, a romantic connection, but hopefully we are focusing in on the one that you want. I'm not sure if that's what we picked up on, okay? But I am seeing a no. It also depends on what you mean by next level. Like to you personally, the next level is possibly marriage, kids, moving in together, right? But if you're talking about a romantic connection, I didn't really ask romantic wise, but if this is still connected to romantically and going to the next level, I'm getting a no. It says danger alerts, best to retreat. So I don't know if you need to idolize more about analyze a little bit more on who your partner is. Check your own energy on how you are, right? Because for some reason it says danger lurks and it's best to retreat. So I don't know what's going on in your romantic connections. I also didn't specifically ask romantically. That doesn't mean that we didn't pick up on it, but I'm also not saying that we did as well, okay? But I'm getting a no. So I do need you to really trust in your intuition when it comes to this. All right? And do know, as I tell you with any and everyone else who has similar questions, that's not something that's too far-fetched, right? It's easy to get into connections, to get married, to do this and to do that, right? Some people may feel like it's not. But when I say easy, I mean that it's something that's not too far-fetched. Like it can actually be realistic. So it just takes two people. It doesn't take one, it takes two. So whoever you're connected with, they will have to be in alignment with you. You'll have to be in alignment with them. Like y'all have to both want to ascend into a higher level of commitment or to the next level, okay? And that's, you know, it's as best as I can put it right now, generally, without really knowing too much about this situation and without specifically talking about a romantic. Like I didn't specifically ask about a romantic connection, but maybe we did still pick up on it. I'm not sure, but I hope that helps. Hope that makes sense. All right, you guys, if you want to get your question answered, you have to make sure you are following me and double tapping the screen. All right. I think I'll answer at least possibly one more question or two more questions, and then I'll be getting off. So if you do not follow me and if you're not double tapping the screen, I'm not going to be able to do your question. But if you are double tapping the screen and you're following me, just type your question down below and I'll pin it and I'll get started on it. All right, cleansing the energy within and around me. I would like to focus on Lukundo's energy and their energy alone. They want to know if they can trust in their parents. Lukundo is the current here, not me. Lukundo wants to know if they can trust their parents. Can they? Can they trust their parents? You got 2 cards that came out, and both of them says no. All right, it says misled by false signals, steer clear. I don't know if you can hear me, but it says misled by false signals, steer clear. And then the other one says don't risk it all on this. It's a losing proposition. So trust, you gotta shield that like it's treasure. Okay, just like your heart, you have to shield it like it's treasure. A lot of people, they don't know how to care for things. Sometimes they mishandle things. You know, sometimes it be your own parents, it be your own friends, it be your own lovers. So I hate that you even have to ask this question, but you asking shows that you probably couldn't really trust them anyway, because maybe they showed you something that made you feel that way. Now, I wouldn't walk around here with trust wounds all my life, you know, because that can interfere with a lot of things. I do feel like you need to do some type of inner child healing and, you know, work surrounding your parents, because a lot of times the relationships that you have with your parents, you know, especially when you were a child, even now, it plays a huge role on how you show up today and the relationships that you have, even like connection outside of your family, friends, lovers, and everything else. But for some reason, when it comes to your parents, I'm not really seeing that you can trust them. Okay, because maybe they're just untrustworthy. Maybe they got a lot of work that they need to do. Okay, maybe they don't operate from integrity and they manipulate. You know, it could really be anything. But you can love people from a distance without needing to sacrifice your trust, because sacrificing your trust when you can't trust somebody, you're bound to get disappointed and heartbroken. So just take slow steps with them. You don't have to throw your whole heart and trust into a situation, okay? You can just set boundaries and know what you can do and can't do when it comes to them. And maybe this can change in the future. Just because it says no right now doesn't mean it'll be no in the future. And a lot of times, sometimes the messages that we get are not all the way accurate. Sometimes a yes will come out when it's really a no. Sometimes a no will come out when it's really like a maybe, you know. So also keep that in mind. But at the end of the day, trust in your intuition. All right, I do wish you the best. Let's see. Cleansing the energy within and around me. You're so welcome. I would like to focus on Kate's energy and hers alone. She is the current of this message, not me or anyone else. You're welcome. All right, so will she get the job soon? Will Kate get the job soon? Will Kate get a job soon? Will Kate get a job soon? Kate, don't you already have a job? Don't you have a business? I'm seeing no. It says danger lurks and best to retreat. Now, as I tell everyone else who asks certain questions like you do, will I get a job? Will I be successful? Will da-da-da? These are questions that are obvious yes, because it's not something that's, it's something that can actually be accomplished. And, you know, it's not difficult to receive. So will you get a job soon is possibly why this energy had also came out here. Because soon could be today, it could be tomorrow, right? It could be whatever you feel soon is. Don't forget, this no can really be a yes 5 minutes later, tomorrow, right? Because energy shifts. Your free will, it shifts. Opportunities, they shift, right? So will you get a job soon? I'm seeing no, but you can even change this yourself. Sometimes it's due to things outside of our control. Sometimes it's also due to things that are in our control. So if you're not applying for jobs, if you're not operating in your business, if you're not like taking a practical approach to things, then you probably won't get the results that you want. Okay? So I hope that makes sense, Kate. I wish you well on your entrepreneurship and your job hunt. Okay. All right, you guys. So okay, you're so welcome. All right, last person is Quinn. For the other individuals, I skipped over your question because you weren't following me. So in order, of course, to get a question, you have to follow me. All right, but other than that, this is going to be the last person who I do at the moment because my phone is dying and I'm slowly getting out of energy. So cleansing the energy within and around me. This message is for Quinn and her only. She is the queen of this message, not me or anyone else. She wants to know if she will get love soon. Her name is Joan. Will she get love soon? Will Joan get love soon? Miss Quinn, I'm saying yes, you will get love soon. Just be mindful of people who are manipulative, don't have your best intentions at heart, because you know anybody can come across love, right? But if you think about it, didn't you have certain relationships that didn't work out? Didn't you have certain relationships where you possibly, if you knew a person a little more, you wouldn't have chose them? So just with this energy coming out on the back, I'm seeing, yes, you will get love soon, but just be mindful on who you choose to love and who you allow to love you. Make sure you are connecting with people who are actually capable of giving and receiving love in a healthy way. Okay, because there's no point in getting invested in a person who you're just going to have to disconnect from anyway. So that's heartbreak, disappointment, a whole lot of things that could be avoided. Okay, but I am seeing a yes. Thank you guys for coming in and trusting me with your energy. I do return everybody's energy back to them, and I release my energy back to me. If you always want to get back on the list, you can always pay to get on the list. Even if you can't afford my prices, you can send in donations, which is anything that you're able to afford. All right, tomorrow or later today, I may be coming back on live and I'll do more free questions. And I'll even do some card pulls for your romantic connections or whatever the case may be. Okay, so I'll see you in the next one. Don't forget to give me a follow because you may never see my face again. All right, if you missed the collective, it will be uploaded to my YouTube. It's the same exact video. All right, and it should get posted sometime before the week is up.